Hey, everybody. I am so excited today to introduce my friend who has been a real estate agent, an industry sales trainer, and leader for years and years and years, Miss Jackie Kravitz. Welcome, Jackie.
Here. Yay.
Yeah. So today we have a very special announcement.
Yeah.
Miss Jackie has decided to bring her business and her career over to eXp Realty and empower our agents with more of her sales X training, as well as more of your coaching. And so I couldn't be more thrilled. Welcome, friend, Miss Jackie Kravitz.
Wow, you have no idea how excited I am. This is amazing.
Yeah. So take us back a little bit so everybody can get to know you. For those who don't know you, I have coached with you years and years ago when you were with Mike Ferry organization. I took all your for sale by owner training. I've taken your expired training, coached with you one-on-one. But take us back and just let us know, like, how did you get into real estate in the beginning?
Real quick, I had my house for sale by owner of all things.
Of course you did.
I did. I had my house. FSBO sign in front of the house is 1996. And after a couple of months as a FSBO, the house wasn't selling. Of course, I got a ton of calls from real estate agents. And money was tight. I wasn't working at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a 6-month-old baby and an 8-year-old son. And so, should I list with an agent? The house was 120,000, Tina. I'm like, wow, that commission is gonna be 7,000, close to that. Yeah, we don't have that kind of money. So I have a better idea. I'm gonna go get a real estate license so I can list my own house and take the commission. It wasn't really it wasn't at all to have a career in real estate. I just wanted to sell my house literally, and I thought, I'm staying at home anyway.
Right.
My ex was working a full-time job, so back then there was no online real estate school, right? So okay, when you get home from work, I can go to real estate school at night. So I did. I got my license, sold my house, and well, here we are.
That is so crazy to go through all of that just to save $7,000, right?
That brings me to the thought, you know how we all have those moments in life where a decision just shifts everything, and in the moment you may not know that one decision. I feel like this move to eXp is another one of those. So, but and the real estate license just to sell my house was definitely huge. I mean, changed my life.
I love it. So you sold your own house.
Yep.
Did you join a real estate firm at the time and say, you know what, I think I'll go sell real estate, or you just kind of kept it part-time? Like, how did you utilize that license?
I actually joined Century 21 because when I was in school, the broker from this one Century 21 office, you know, they come to recruit people that are in real estate school. So I'm like, I don't know any better. Okay, I'll go there.
Yeah.
And I remember one day, a couple of months after I listed my house, sold it, I'm walking in the office. I don't even know for what, because I barely would go there, with my daughter on my hip. You know, she was little. And the broker said to me, he approached me in the hall. He says, oh, there's this training coming and you got to sign up for this. It's amazing. And I said, no, you know, I don't work full time. I don't have the time. I got a baby. I got an 8-year-old. I don't have the money, because I literally was, you know, just living paycheck to paycheck. And it was my ex's paycheck, not even mine, because I wasn't working. Anyway, it was, you probably heard of it, Tina, Floyd Wickman Sweat Hogs. That's what it was that he was referring. Like, I didn't know. And he was so persistent, like, you got to find a way. It's once a week for I don't know how many weeks. And I got a friend to babysit my daughter because my son was in school. So he was easier. Yeah. And I took this Sweat Hogs thing. And yeah, that was amazing, because it's really about prospecting. And I remember the instructor. This is 25 years ago, so don't ask me, what did you learn? I have no clue, because I don't have that kind of memory. But I remember the instructor saying, and you heard this a million times from different coaches and trainers, there's someone in your market that's going to buy or sell a house today. And if you're talking to enough people, you're going to find one. And I'm not analytical at all. You say something that's logical, I'm like, okay, I buy into that, I'm in. And so that's what happened. And now, so I was like, okay, Yeah, that makes sense to me. If I just talk to enough people, I don't care how many people. It didn't even occur to me, like, is it 20? Is it 50? I don't ask that. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to talk to enough people. Nights and weekends, because during the day I had to cook, clean, and take care of the kids. So that's my first 2 years were nights and weekends on the phone, calling as many people as I could.
And did people
And
hang up on you, or did they say yes every time you called?
did people hang up on me? That happened more than anything else,
That's right.
I remember my first year, I wasn't really looking, I remember the instructor saying there's somebody that's going to buy or sell, but I didn't want to work with buyers. I had no time.
Right.
And the instructor really like pushed, you gotta focus on sellers. I'm like, that makes sense to me too. That's logical. So that's what I'm gonna do. If I find a buyer, I don't care. I don't want buyers. I don't have time to be taking them out. I just want listings from the very beginning. I think that was an advantage for me because I never developed bad habits. Like a lot of agents just start with buyers and then they can't let go. Well, that didn't happen to me. But talking about people hanging up on you, I started calling expireds and for sale by owners from day one. It was not like, well, let me ease into this. I just threw myself into the fire.
And that was 25 years ago.
25 years ago. Yep, 1996. It was a buyer's market for sure. And so I remember FSBOs were easy to talk to. I mean, I couldn't actually close for an appointment pre-qualified, but they talked to me. They're like, well, I'm doing an open house. If you want to come look at it, if you have a buyer, they were friendly. But expireds, wow. I don't look. I have this hallucination that the expireds in South Florida are the meanest, craziest, most rude ever.
Yeah.
Like they were. I was terrified of them. Actually, I remember starting calling new expireds. It was brutal. Got hung up on, got yelled at. I'm like, why are these people so hostile? I didn't understand.
Right.
And I remember for a couple of months, I kept my first few listings, the very first one, I remember, there's certain things. I remember the client, I remember the house. It was a listing from calling around my neighborhood. Massive amounts of calls, but that first year I listed quite a few for sale by owners too. I didn't know what I was doing. It was not go out and list. It was go out and follow up twice a week for 3 months until they don't know what to do anymore. And then they say, hey, you're the only agent that's still calling me after 3 months. So come list my house. I'm like, okay. It was like that. But expireds, I got hung up on so much and yelled at so much that for a little short period of time, I didn't want to call him anymore. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And as I started getting better, learning what to say, how to say, understanding their mindset too, because why are they like that? Well, I understand totally why they're like that now. But as I started to get better, obviously the calls started getting easier and easier, and I started listing expireds too. So yeah, that's the story. My first year I sold 25 homes. So it's
how many homes?
25.
25 your first year, and that was 25 years ago. So did you go up from there 25 and you stayed in the business and got help, or how did you, because you ended up getting to the point where you were listing 100 homes a year. 150. Yeah.
So I attended Sweat Hogs, the Floyd Wickman thing.
Yeah.
And then a couple of months later, I attended a Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat. And I still remember seeing a few agents, because I didn't know what the opportunity was in real estate. I mean, I just thought, you look at the average real estate agent, you say, oh, I don't know, you sell 10 houses a year, that's good.
Right.
And I saw these agents doing hundreds of closed transactions a year, and I'm thinking, they don't look any smarter than me. I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And so the first 2 years I was working part-time. So I was just prospecting nights and weekends because my ex had a job and I had the kids.
Right.
Third year, I had a conversation with my ex-husband and I said, hey, because that 25 homes that I sold my first year made me, my average price was about 150,000. And so it made me close to 65, 70,000, which was more than my ex-husband was making in his full job with a college degree, because I don't have a college degree. I was making 30,000 in a hotel, but I'm like, listen, if I can work full time, and now I was being I had Mike Ferry, and I had a Mike Ferry coach. I said I can do a lot of business and I can make a lot of money. So he quit his job to stay home with my daughter was still little, and I started working full time. So my fourth year, I don't know if it was the whole year full time. That was the transition year. I sold 45, fourth year 100, and then 125, 130 for several years.
Right.
But by my third year, they were all FSBOs and expireds. That's it. I had zero buyers. I mean, I had a ton of buyers coming from sign calls and in whatever, but I didn't even have a buyer's agent. I had one agent in my office. I just referred it all to her. I don't care. I thought many times about hiring a buyer's agent. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I don't know how to train them. I don't know what I'm doing with buyers here.
Right.
Take these buyers. And she was paying me a 40% referral fee. I'm like, I'm happy.
Perfect.
And sometimes I used to think, because by my fourth year, when I started selling 100 homes a year, we had because I had so many listings,
Right.
I was the only one. My ex-husband ended up getting a real estate license and becoming my assistant.
Right.
So then I'm thinking, I'm giving this buyer's agent, not my buyer's agent, it's just a buyer's agent paying me this referral fee, 7 to 8 buyers a day because of all the listings I had. She wasn't closing, it made no sense. She wasn't closing enough. And then I'm thinking, am I gonna start worrying about that and figuring out how to help her close it better? Or am I gonna keep taking listings? And I decided I'm just gonna keep taking listings and let whatever happen. So
I love that.
And I always say to agents and my clients that there's a lot of different ways of doing this, and a lot of agents like you have very successful teams, and it's amazing. I didn't know how to hire, how to train. It's just listings became my thing. It's like, okay, call, prospect, set an appointment, pre-qualify, go out and take a listing. I could do that like clockwork. I was taking between 16, 20 listings a month. I used to take 3 months off every year. I'm like, okay, life is good. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So
yeah. I love that. And then you got to a point where you were, kind of burned out a little bit, and you started to you decided you were going to go into coaching, I think.
Yeah. So the coaching thing, you do get, you do get a little exhausted at times, but it wasn't a conscious decision to start coaching full time. I wanted to coach. I was still a client of Mike Ferry, and I wanted to be a coach just because I wanted closer access to all the coaches and Mike, and that environment of growth, learning. We were talking, right, Tina, about if you're not growing, doing something, learning, and just exposing myself to great thinkers. And so I wanted to coach for that reason, and I wanted to do it part-time because I wanted to sell real estate. And what happened is I decided to move, which is another great benefit of prospecting FSBOs and expireds, because I can do it anywhere. I want to move somewhere, and I have no database. Okay, great, let's go. I'll start over.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So I was in South Florida, and I moved 2 hours north to Vero Beach. I wanted to live in that area on the beach, super quiet. I'm like, I'm ready for there's nobody there. It's just almost like a private beach. So decided to move. And it was summertime because I timed it that way because of the kids out of school, whatever. And so I had been in coaches training to coach part-time. And those 3 months in the summer, I took time off. I moved. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take some time off. When I get settled there, I'll start prospecting again. And then Mike had a retreat, had a lot of people sign up for coaching, and they approached me and said, hey, I know you're in this transition phase. You just moved. We have a lot of clients. We don't have enough coaches. Would you consider starting to coach for us full time? It wasn't my intention, but I said, why not? Yeah, I hadn't really started what I was going to do there. And that was it, Tina. I never went back to selling. So I started that. Then I did a FSBO and Expired group program that I know you were a part of. And I just got into coaching, and that was it.
And that was how many years with Mike with coaching? 5 years. And then from there, you got recruited to Keller Williams to
Yep, I
coach?
started for Keller Williams coaching company, MAPS. I coached for them for 10 years, 5 years one-on-one and 5 years as a boat coach.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So talk to me a little bit about this coaching thing, because here's where agents ask me all the time. They'll come to me and say, do you coach? Do you coach? Do you coach? And I go, I do, but more in a group setting. You know, I'm not a one-on-one coach. I've had one-on-one coaches for 12 years. Talk to me a little bit about, and we talk about this all the time, the difference between coaching and training. And the fact that you started Sales X training, which I think is one of the best trainings, programs that are out there, right? And you know, I have my agents using it, your agents, you've got tons and tons of clients, all different brokerages, which is so amazing. And now, you know, obviously, as you know, bring people into eXp, because she's had a lot of people ask her if they could partner with her, and she's like, no, I can't, but now she can. Talk to me a little bit about the difference between you being a one-on-one coach and now real training, and what the difference is.
So coaching, yes, you and I have talked about this because I had a one-on-one, I was a one-on-one coach for 10 years, 5 years for Mike, 5 years for Keller Williams. And to me, one-on-one coaching, clients pay $1,000 a month.
Up to
Sometimes
2,000. Yeah.
a month to
Yeah.
speak with their coach for 30 minutes a week. So I was that coach that they're speaking with. They're paying $1,000 a month to talk to me for 30 minutes a week.
Right.
Most of those conversations, with some rare exceptions, like when as a coach, when I have a client like you, driven, focused, you know what? Yeah, it's a different level conversation. But most of the agents that I coach and that every other coach coaches one-on-one, they're fairly new, or they don't have the drive and the experience that agents like you have. So these conversations, 30 minutes a week is simply not enough. And they're paying a fortune. It doesn't give them the real training that they need in every way, because so much of being a successful real estate agent, as you know, is how you think. You gotta think a different way. Someone selling 100 homes a year, making $1 million a year, they don't think like a 10 transaction a year. They think differently. And because they think differently, they do different things. There's no way that in 30 minutes a week you could teach them that. And then scripts, and there's just so much, it's impossible. These conversations end up being mostly about, okay, let's say I'm following up. The first thing we would do on a follow-up call is, so last week you had these assignments, this is what you were supposed to have, how did you do? Oh, I couldn't do it because this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. And all of a sudden now they're talking about their personal problems. I'm like, I am not qualified to help you with that.
Exactly.
I'm a real estate coach. I can help you make money. I can help you take listings. I can help you get them sold. So it was frustrating for me for a long time. You know, in the beginning, I was very excited because I felt like I could actually make a difference.
Right.
For these agents that are paying so much money to talk to me for 30 minutes, I'd be like, what am I going to do in 30 minutes a week to give them enough value for what they're paying? And I spent many years working on figuring that out. And it just, it just doesn't work. I mean, to me, it doesn't work. They need a lot more. They need full immersion in a different way of thinking, in learning how to communicate powerfully, influencing people, getting inspired and motivated to prospect, to find business. That's what Sales X training does, because now they don't talk to me once a week. They have access to over currently, and it's growing every week because there's a new lesson every Monday through Friday. There's over 300 lessons on this platform, 2 live calls a week. Now they sign up for this, they get into this, they're immersed, and they're going to start seeing results quickly. That's the difference. Coaching to me is just, I'm biased, but
Yeah.
the,
Yeah. Well, and I remember, I've had lots of different coaches, and you're right. It's like you're paying $1,000 to $2,000 for 30 minutes. And I would try to get a lot out of that 30 minutes, but it ended up being sometimes therapy sessions, or, you start talking about life skills, because it's not a training session. And I think a lot of agents they're misinformed in what a coach does, right? And they end up paying all this money. And when I look at the value of where I learned the most, it was through my mastermind groups. It was through the
Yeah.
collective energy of agents getting together and us talking about what's working, and then the physical role play, the getting in and taking action. And so I think that you may feel like you're getting ahead because you have a coach, but it never really, to me, if I had to look at what really made me successful, it wasn't so much the coaches, which I loved. And, you happen to be one of them, but your coaching, I was always in your trainings. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yes,
It wasn't the
absolutely.
coaches that made the success. It was more the mastermind groups and the role plays and the action taking. And so that's why I do love the Sales X training, because I know my agents are in it and have done it and use it. A lot of our eXp organization is in it and using it. And now I'm just excited that more, the 65,000 eXp agents that need more training, or want really good training, can have access to you and for your platform, which is not very expensive.
Not at all. It's actually 1,000 a year.
A year, which is like, I keep telling her she needs to charge more.
Yeah, that's good. And again, for me, this is about value. They're paying 1,000 a month, and they're getting infinitely that times 1,000 in value. And
Oh
that's
gosh, yeah.
what makes me excited about it. And you said about role plays, there are role play groups that are part of it. There's a community. They formed like Zoom prospecting groups, East
Nice.
Coast, West Coast, so the clients can join and prospect together and role play and get better together. I role play live with the clients on a like every week, actually. We have 2 live calls. So they have all those elements, which is amazing.
It's huge. Well, let me ask you this, because people go, oh, prospecting's dead. It's just not done. So 25 years ago to today, what has changed, and how many agents do you have taking listings every single day in this kind of market, which is a low end listing inventory market?
So the only clients that I have that are not taking listings on a regular basis are the ones that are not prospecting, because the ones that are, they're setting qualified listing appointments every day that they make calls. And see, what's interesting, your question about them taking listings, there's not stages, but there's steps to what you do. You got to learn how to have conversations with someone to set an appointment.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go out and take a listing. Okay, they're
Right.
willing to let you in the house now. What's next? You got to pre-qualify this appointment, and not just read a bunch of questions and have no idea what's going on. You have to learn how to think and dig and really be able to leave that pre-qualifying conversation knowing exactly what you need to do when you walk through the door to take that listing. And then you got to learn how to present.
Right.
You got to show up in every way. So prospecting is step one, but I have clients every single week. And prospecting doesn't work. I actually, I've prospected myself. Like I do it on a regular basis. I haven't been doing it that much because obviously I'm busy with a lot of the training that I'm doing for Sales X. But some of them are on my YouTube channel. I sit down and been calling FSBOs for the last few months. I've done it a couple of times, but I call and I'm filming it, and they're on speaker, so you could hear both sides of the conversation, and you could see the video, the whole thing. There's a few of them on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing more of that. Setting the appointment, not easy conversations. They give me all the objections. Oh, but does it work? Could I really set? And these for sale by owners, by the time they hang up on me, some of them are like, almost like, please come list my house.
When are you coming? Yeah.
So does it work? Yeah. Obviously, if you don't believe it's going to work for you, well, then you won't do it and it won't work. And even if you do it, it won't work. So,
what do you think, like through the years, you've had a lot of coaching clients. what is it that makes some just do it, do whatever it takes? And then others, no matter how much you tell them, their life is going to change. They're going to make millions of dollars. They're going to have everything they could possibly want in their life, and they still won't do it. What do you think the difference is in those people, right?
Sounds like the $1 million question, but okay, I'll give you, obviously I could only give you my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the real difference is you gotta want it real badly, and you gotta know what you want. Starts with that, and it doesn't have to be big. You know, I've learned so many great things from all my coaches and mentors, and I know Gary Keller talks about having a big why.
Yes.
That's daunting. I mean, like a big why, like what's my purpose in life? I have no clues. Like chill, you know, like I'll spend, I'm just gonna sit and think about that. A little why will do, but it has to be something you really, really, really want. Something that's gonna, and when I say a little why, you know, it's I'm something that, how big and small it is relative, right? What I may consider small to somebody else may be a big thing, because they're like, when I first got into real estate, I mean, I wanted to drive a Mercedes. I mean, today I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's no big deal anymore. But back then to me it was a big thing. So it's relative too. But yeah, I wanted the car. I wanted a better house. I wanted money in the bank. I wanted investment properties. I wanted to help my family. I wanted to build a house for my mom in Brazil. I wanted to do a bunch of stuff. So, and I wanted to succeed more than anything else. I just had this thing inside of me. It's like, it was an opportunity for me that I knew I couldn't have it any other way, because I don't have a college degree. I had no career. It's like,
you had to prove something. You had to prove to yourself that you could do it.
Yeah. 100%. But I also, this is an interesting one. I'm talking about different things that could be somebody's why, right? I had a few different ones. And I know one why that some people sometimes are not willing to admit they have. And I know I had it. At the time, I didn't always look at it because it seemed sort of maybe shallow to have that why, but it was a why for me. Recognition.
Yes.
You know, just, you know, just being able to, and you, I don't know if you remember this or not, Tina, I think it was my 4th year in real estate or 5th year. Tony DeSello was my coach. He ended up at KW, and Tony was a coach for Mike Ferry, and he was considered the best coach Mike had. And so now, when Tony's coaching me, I'm listing 150 FSBOs and Expireds a year. And Tony's like, I've never known an agent, a single agent by themselves that can do that. And so he had conversations with Mike about me. I ended up on stage doing listing presentations. You know, that recognition, that was a why for me too. It was. But what I'm saying is, I think the difference is agents are just doing stuff, but they're not, they don't know what they want to achieve and why. And without the what and why, and you remember Tony Robbins talking about this in Dallas, right? Don't worry about the how, just figure out what why and why you want it.
Why? Right. Because why would you go towards pain, right? Which painful is it, the pain is the picking up the phone, the learning the scripts, the possibly getting rejected. Why would you ever go towards that pain if the why of why you're doing it is not bigger than the pain, right? And so, and mine was the same as yours. Yeah.
So I think that's what separates the real successful people from the ones that just, you know, because they get too caught up on the rejection, the pain. What do I have to do? It's too much. It's not easy. Listen, it wasn't easy for me.
Right.
I had doubt and fear, like everything that everybody experiences. I'm a human being. I had it too. But my why was important enough for me. It's not about the size of the why, again, because it's relative, but it was important enough for me that it was worth whatever I had to do. This is going to happen.
It's going to do it.
That's such a huge, and in the end, that applies to everything in life. when you have that burning desire, Napoleon Hill's like
Oh yeah,
burning desire.
burning.
Every one of these amazing authors and teachers, they all speak about that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's the difference.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love it. Well, you've had an amazing, successful career. Today, you don't really even need to keep working, which I'm the same. Like, we don't have to do what we do, but we do it because we love what we do, and we need to have purpose in life. And so now I'm just excited that we get to be business partners on our ventures at eXp.
I'm
You know,
so thrilled. You have no idea.
yeah. So if we were having this conversation 3 years from now, and in order for you to be happy with what happened this last 3 years, what would have to happen? How many people would you have to serve, reflecting back?
Wow, Tina, I like to think big.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, it's how many people, tens of thousands, why not? Maybe hundreds of thousands. Like where's the limit to
It
that?
could be global. It could be global, right? Yeah.
100%. I actually have some clients from Portugal. I happen to, all my training is in English, by the way, but I speak fluent Portuguese and Spanish. And
Nice.
I've been to Portugal training agents just because it was in Portuguese then. So they got to know me and they're like, oh my God. So they sign up. So yes, globally, we started in Portugal. We could expand from that. But the point is, I don't want to even put a number out. Can we talk about hundreds of thousands
Sure,
of real
sure.
estate agents whose lives we can impact, that we can bring incredible value, that we can just, they get to transform their lives, but
Right.
we're sort of bringing in information, and we're feeding their minds stuff that if they apply their lives and their businesses, everything will change forever. I mean, that happened to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have that. And now partnering with you and eXp, it's like they don't just get sales X training when they join eXp. They get so much more. I'm blown away. You were explaining to me, I'm like, what? So it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And they're obviously, I am so blessed. I like to stop every day, like several times a day, and just like, wow, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. And in every aspect of my life, I mean, amazing family, friends, like it's just everything, health and financial freedom. But for me, when I have a client that says, oh my gosh, you told me to do this, I did it, and this is what happened, and that's why, and they're so excited, and they're like, I could do this over and over, and this is what I needed, and this is what I've been looking for. That gives me so much joy.
Isn't it
So
fun?
3 years from now, let's have every real estate agent involved in what we're doing so that we can impact their lives like that. Yeah.
I would love it. I would love it. And there is nothing better than people on your team or agents in the industry sending you a text or telling you that, thank you. And it is great. It's great to share that information because we know that it works. So I'm excited, partner. We're going to have some fun. And so if you're watching this and you don't know Jackie, reach out to her. Just Jackie Kravitz YouTube, all of her videos are on there. Watch her listing presentation, all of her trainings, but she actually has an amazing program. So go ahead and reach out to her. Or if you want to partner with her at eXp, I mean, could you imagine having this coach for a partner? Think of all the knowledge. Think of all the knowledge that you get.
You as well. So
Well, and me as well. You get us both, right? I mean, so we're there to help and help people, just get into action. So, Jackie, thank you, and I will see you soon, friend. And welcome to our organization and our Freedom Builders Network. And I can't wait to do more.
Thank you, Tina.
We'll see you soon.